And this is some of our friends. We belong to an organization called SHIT, the Society of Herpetologists in the Tri-State, which originated in Ohio. But I don't know how in the world this originated to all parts of the country, but you know, here it's like Dave Jardine, myself, and Bill Maynard, and Joe, and Bill Bendler, and Johnny Arnett. But there were a lot of other friends that we all belong to SHIT. But we also had a lot of other friends, you know, that hung around the shed. Like there's Tommy there, Bill
That's the Simon Herpetopon,
That's
Chris McQuaid.
Any comments to make about any of this, just kick in, because like I said, this is informal. We're going back in time a little bit, talking about many of the things that happened, so...
Hey, Tom, you're still in the charts.
No, I've heard him.
That was my 70s spoiler. What do you mean? You still
Anyway, in those days I was kind of a wild and crazy guy. All kinds of things like, you know, make faces at people and do all kinds of strange behaviors like this. But those are the days and those are the times, and I still do them on occasion, you know. And this is Joe Verducci, and his dog Buck. Well, Buck used to roam around the shed, and you know, he had his dog, and I had mine. And he was kind of like, really enough for dogs, man. He had a stuff for dogs. Had fun with on occasion, you know. Anyway, as I go on here, I just also want to mention this is not just about the fun things that happened, but also about some of the friends that we had in those days, and some of those guys attended the IHS meetings over the years. And some of those people have passed on and stuff, but they're really good friends of ours, and if they could see us today, they would also be having a good time, because we also shared that kind of wavelength that over time, we had fun at every one of these meetings. And Joe Verducci, well, it was Joe Verducci. Oh my God, you know, every time we turned around, we shoot birds and doing strange things like this. But he wasn't just doing these things, he would do them in front of all kinds of people, you know, like my grandson. As he talked along, you know, he kind of grew up learning these things. Right? How to do these things, you know. And then it caught on to all kinds of other people. Now this is Bill Denver. And Bill Denver, you know, was the curator of reptiles at Toledo, but he later became the director. And, you know, it was under his kind of leadership that we got people like this to come along. So no wonder, you know, that some of us turned out the way they did, you know. But graduated, you know, from going ahead and doing the little things with his fingers. And this is Joe Verducci hunting bushmasters in Costa Rica. People believe that, you know. But he just didn't do this with like sticks. He started to eventually, you know, get like green basilisks. And you can see where he got bit there. Like green basilisk on the chest there. But you know, Joe is Joe. But then he graduated from there. And look, here's with the big splodies, you know, this is Joe, you know. Well, anyway, I was like, of course, a member of SHIT. And there would be the things that I would do when I caught a snake or something like that. Let's fight for here. But there were other people involved here as well. And this is Joe Laszlo, one of the dearest and closest friends of mine in my whole life. This is in Knoxville, the 1979 IHS. And Murphy, are you here?
Yes.
Well, talk about Joe. Tell us the story. Come on.
They're all X-rated.
That's why this is the adult-only crowd.
Come on, Murphy. Just one story.
I'm trying to think of one.
One you told me last night.
Well, no, we can't tell that. I'll just tell you, when he died, Herbert, you asked me to do an old bit for him, which I did. And I realized I have to write this thing, but everything I know about Joe is either so scatological, so disgusting, that I can't put it in print. So he made me actually send him a draft to review so that I could put something that would be offensive to our community. So everything I can tell you, I will tell you later in private.
Anyway, the IHS's Joe Laszlo Memorial Award is, issued every year for everyone whose contribution to herpetoculture is deserving of that award. Anyway, we miss him dearly, and we had a good time in those days. And then, this is again 79 in Knoxville, and again, other members of the ship there, like there's Dave Jardine on the left, and there's Gordon Schuett, PhD, who has made numerous contributions to herpetology over the years. Phil Maynard is on the right. And then we get to the meeting and we'd be all so excited. The next thing you know, we go to So, thank you, Dr. Schuett. And this is Jim McLean, also a prominent member of IHS in those years. We had a real good time. He was a great guy. And this is who eventually became the president of IHS, Howard Lawler. Howard, at one time, was the curator at the Atlanta Zoo and at the Knoxville Zoo and at the Arizona Snowy Desert Museum. We always had a great time with Howard, and we became very good friends. And this is a picture of Howard here, where I'm on the left and Howard's on the right. This is after he had gone to Honduras, met a young love lady named Sylvia, who he eventually married. And you can tell that he is like thinking about Sylvia in his sleep. And so we'll just go through a few pictures here of IHS, in different years. Like this is in '86 in Dallas, and this is Dick Ross and Pete Tolson. Anyway, too bad Dick is not here. He was here last year at the IHS, but he was president of IHS for a number of years. Anyway, this is Joe Verducci. Some things never change, One day I just walked into the shed and there was Joe, and so I just happened to take this picture. And oh my God, because that wasn't the end of things. Because somebody else took this picture here of Jim Murphy, and if you look at his fingers there, oh my God, what's going on here? So, what ended up happening in Chicago is that there were some postcards that were made, and you can see Joe Verducci's face on that postcard, which is drawn by the late Jim Bridges. And this is part of Chicago. This is, Dick Ross and Quentin Bloxham. Here's some other pictures. There's Jim right there in the background in Chicago. But the one thing that you didn't expect during those years was that we would pull something like this. And this is essentially Dick that did it, but postcards, for everybody to receive at the Chicago meeting, which was like one of the infamous moments of IHS. And of course, Joe was so much, got in trouble over the years that we sent him to the darkest Africa there, to the impenetrable forest, as he called it, and he's been there ever since. And so this brings us to a Seattle meeting in 1991. David Groh was there with myself, and that was a really interesting meeting. We had a lot of fun.
A little bit.
Here's John McLean, and he had received the Golden Screw Award for, I forget what, but if anybody can tell me a little bit more about that, like Val, do you know what that was about?
I do.
Oh, tell me.
No, I can't tell the story.
Oh, no.
I do want you to know, though, that I have that award at home in my cupboard because John was afraid to take it home and have his wife see it. And so I took it home and had to brave my husband at the time and try to explain why I came home with
the Golden Screw Award.
That's when Gary Larson was the speaker.
Yeah.
Well, there's Gary Larson right there. Yeah. And he was kind enough actually to autograph I was supposed to give my son.
cartoon, Freshfield, when Tom moved up to Bushnell, Larson.
Yeah.
Well, we had, what happened with that, Gary, is he had this skydiving school for beginners, opened up next to the Chronicle.
I was the one guy in the crowd now. Over as yeah, it was me, and I threw such a shit fit when Gary sent it to me. The chick took my name off. I was the one skydiving in the crowd. So we have that one again too.
About that afternoon, I
No trouble brewing.
And we were talking, and I said, listen, you got to tell Gary Larson this. I said, you're not going to believe this, but somebody landed in my yard today from a skydiving school next door. And I said, if you're doing that, I said, sooner or later somebody's going to land in the crocodile. And he said, why don't you tell him? So I did. You know, he did. I said, all right, you want to so I told him. And then I got the friend about 2 weeks later, and he said, you know, we have known. I said, once again, Oregon takes life, all the best of it.
And one paper said, I've got it, and also they had coffee mugs. And it's great, guys going over, it says Freshfield Reptile Park, and then the
Anderson
skydiving school.
Hey, Randall, Tom?
Last guy in the skydiving school was trying to pack his first and goes to Ward 12 roof. And that was an inside joke, because that's when I was having problems with the PD ones at the same time.
Yeah.
So we had a double unity deal.
Hey, Tom, Randall, the copy he sent me to look at had me in the parachute going
Anyway, there was just a lot of people there in Seattle, and we had a great time. Dave, explain here, because I have no clue what this is about, I don't remember.
Well, because Dick Ross was so proud of handing out the Golden Screw Award, the year before, Dick infamously privately published the reproductive biology of the python.
The typo.
Failed to proofread it.
The typo. The typo.
I remember exactly that.
I remember the typo.
He put it through spell check. Oklahoma City Zoo got credit for bringing poplin pythons first in the world, which we never had poplin pythons.
Oh, but that was not the best thing.
No, the best one was the...
The best thing was...
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Because we all remember, Dave, spit it out.
And what this was, in fact, that paper bag down below, I had written Dick's presentation on that while I was listening to other presentations. And he earned the award for the photograph of black-eyed Woma. And in the book, the caption under the picture says, "The very rare black-eyed woman." Published it. I have a signed copy. And I can't remember what award we called it, but we embarrassed him thoroughly, and deservedly so.
Hey, what was this? There was something else that happened. You know, he had a gas can. Why?
He ran out of gas somewhere. I'm trying to remember too. I took these. I mean, I can't remember what that was when he did that. But somebody, was that his award that was given to him? Or was he giving it to somebody else?
At this point, after we beat him up so much, he was grabbing to pour gasoline on himself and lighting that. Because he was starting to cry at that point.
Well, see, that is not here.
Why did anybody stop him?
He could dish it out.
There's Don Camper and Brett Stearns, who really prominent people in Access for many, many, many years. And here's Anthony Wisniewski on the right. Who's down left?
That's Eric Olson.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. From Cincinnati, wasn't he? Cleveland.
Shaker Hunters, yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, when we were in Seattle, we also, had a lot of fun after hours and stuff. Well, first, here's Ernie Wacker, prominent herpetoculturist in the early years.
And the funniest part about that was his presentation of Gary Larson that night. And he told about how Gary came to the zoo. He found him with his tegu eating his socks. And then he proceeded to tell him when he hired him onto the zoo to clean cages and all this, how they would have practical jokes. And so when everybody would leave town, Ernie would like to stuff a boar's head in his toilet and fill the other's bathtub full of hippo poo. And then my favorite part was when Ernie went to go grab some mayonnaise and he thought it was an olive at the bottom of his jar, and it was Pinky's after so many days.